below the Earth's, I forget what you call that crust below the surface. And it is processed by heat and by pressure. The heat there is over 3,000 degrees. And 50, what do they call that? 50 millibars of pressure. They said if you want to understand that, then imagine the weight of 2,000 grown men standing on your foot. That's the kind of pressure that it takes to form a diamond from what? Just what we would consider coal, carbons, coal. So sometimes in life, if you are going to be everything that you can possibly be, if the beauty that is on the inside of the creativity that's in you is going to come out, sometimes you're going to go through fire. You're going to go through pressure. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. Don't let people make you fear that. So let me go back to some 2.5 plus years ago. When all of this stuff happened, a lawyer entered into the picture, a man by the name of Alex Spiro. He is a former DA in New York. He used to be the NBA's spin doctor. He was their go-to guy for NBA ball players. And then he went into private practice or became a part of a firm. And this man has been on the record. It's not something I'm making up. It's already out there on the internet years ago. He said, when I'm going to try a case of a high-profile case, I first try it in the court of public opinion. And so that's what they did. The strategy was basically to paint a smear campaign against a young man, an artist, to try to make him feel or try to make the public believe that he is the worst person that's ever walked on the planet. How could he be so terrible to shoot a black woman and all of that? Some of the people who piled on, some of them, when they say a black woman, they sound so insincere because they never cared about black women before that. But all of a sudden, this became a good narrative. It boosted views. It gave more likes. It sounded really, really wonderful. And, you know, for them to be on the side of this defenseless black woman. Let me stop right here and say this, and this might come as a shock to many of you. But guess what? Both my son, myself, and others of our family have long decided that we are not going to hold any animosity against Megan Pete, aka Megan the Stallion. We forgave that girl long time ago, because again, we know that the principle of forgiveness is important in order to cleanse one's heart, to cleanse one's soul, and to not be, bound up with hatred and hatred, trust me, resentment, bitterness, those things can actually cause diseases of the bones. It has been proven, and it can cause sickness in your body because you're holding on to something that is negative against the real life force in your life. So whatever you do in life, no matter how hard it is, forgive, because forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you. It's for you. And so that's what we decided. Some will actually, no doubt, question, is he actually saying that Tory forgave Megan for all of what's going on? Yes, we have forgiven her. But what we will not back down from is the machine that has been in the background trying to press a narrative in order to use this girl for what they have used her for. So let's move on from there. They came in with a smear campaign that was second to none. Yes, it was during the time of the George Floyd situation, the Breonna Taylor situation. And they basically tried to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. That's not my saying. That's an old people's proverbs who says you cannot make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And reality check, is that they were trying to make someone be an icon for civil rights who did not have any such desire, who did not have any such convictions about being that at all. And it came across very insincere to a lot of people. You see, the powers that be and those who actually have the power of the machine in their hands can make us think all day long that that was for real, but people saw right through that. And so a lot of that began to just fall on its face. The strategy was simply this. Number one, they went behind the door, closed doors, and got the powers that be to place a gag order on my son. He wasn't supposed to say anything. He wasn't supposed to say anything. Even to the place when he sought to use his art to speak for himself because that was his only way. There were so many voices. Oh my God, how insensitive. Blah, 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 blah. But I have to ask you, what would you do in such a situation? At the end of the album called Daystar, the last song is called Life. And he ends that song by saying, you get up one day and you have thousands of people hating on you all at once. It brings your world down. I would like the youth of today to take me as an example, because I don't care about none of those things. I will continue to stand up, and I'm paraphrasing now, so let me leave that alone. So the strategy was very simple. Shut his mouth while the mouth of those with the biggest megaphone on planet Earth piled on and said everything. Can you imagine? 2.5 years. Every single day you have to get up to that, knowing that you did not do this. And so that was the face that they decided would best serve their narrative. Who really is Daystar Peterson, people? Who really is Daystar Peterson? 1 second, please. Who really is he? The fact is that he's one of the kindest individuals that you could ever meet in your life. The truth is that they don't want you to know is that he is someone who actually goes out of his way to help so many people. And I can tell you testimony upon testimony of things that he does and never says anything about it. Never lets anyone else know what he does in the background to help people. He will never tell you that. And there's one young lady who got in contact with me that was diagnosed as being bipolar, having a bipolar disorder, that he paid her rent. She told me, not him, because he would never say it. He paid her rent for 1 full year because she was a single mother battling through depression and situations going on in her life. He will never come and tell me what every security personnel that's ever worked for and with him has told me one by one, independent of each other. I've never worked with a celebrity like this. I've worked with others. Sometimes they make us stand outside as they go inside and have meals and do all this. He has never treated us like that. He's only ever treated us like family. But yet the world will try to make you think that this is the worst kind of human being, and it's not true. So I can't continue to sit here and just hear this over and over and over and over again and say nothing. Now my son is fighting for his life because of things that have been done in a terrible way. And they would have us to just do nothing, just say nothing. But today I'm asking you to help me to get the real story out. Because I did not realize in the beginning when this media war started, what the end result of it would really be. I didn't realize what the strategy really was and how there are those who felt it necessary to push this narrative and what they were pushing it for. And so here we are. But this is not just about Daystar. This is not just about him. It's really about the fact that these kinds of injustices have been happening for a long time, and they go in secret. Nothing is ever said. People are being destroyed. Families get torn apart. Oh yes, I know that there are real crimes in our society, and I don't condone any of it. I don't believe anybody should be victimized by anybody. I don't think that that's what God wants. He gave us a world that is so beautiful. If it's messed up, it's because we messed it up. So he never intended for us to be so inhumane one to another. I understand that that happens. And I understand that if we cannot have the law in our hearts, then it would many times take the law outside of us to keep us moving in a direction that brings some semblance of peace or harmony within a society. I understand all of those things. But I also understand that many people, their lives are being destroyed, ripped apart. And although we have some good people in the system, sometimes the system gets it totally wrong. We have innocence projects now that have been able to go back, and sometimes people have been in prison for God knows how long. And had it not been for somebody who took up their cause, they would still be there and they were innocent. So the system does not always get it right. Many times they get it very, very wrong. Has anybody ever told you that for the past 3-4 years, Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, has been on the board of Unite the People, which is a prison reform platform and initiative run by a very faithful and dedicated man, Caesar McDowell? Has anybody ever told you that he has been on that board for almost 4 years, and that he has many times used his own resources to ensure that people come out of prison that were wrongly incarcerated or unduly sentenced? Supposedly, prison is to be about rehabilitating people, but that's not been the point. That's not been the issue. So many people come out destroyed, broken, and if they don't have any system or support, not only will they never make it back into society, they will be destroyed for the rest of their lives, mentally, emotionally. Some people come out being greater criminals than when they went in, because an environment is created that is not meant to rehabilitate or make a human being better in any way. So tonight, I ain't come on here just to take up your time. I came here to let you know that my son is not what people want you to think he is. He's not what they want you to think he is. He's actually someone who is kind, he's compassionate, and there is no way, not just because I'm his father. You got to understand, for the last 40 years of my life, I've dealt with people all around the world, on at least 3 continents, several islands throughout the Caribbean. I've been involved in helping especially young people to be entrepreneurs, teach them life skills, entrepreneurial skills. I've seen people come from absolutely nothing till today. Their lives have meaning. They're actually doing things and helping other people in their lives. That's what my life has been all about. And that's what I passed on to my children. And so I want to say two things. In 1990, I went to my bed and I had a dream. And in that dream, I saw that I was driving in downtown a city in Canada. And I was pulled over by the police in the vision. And they said, give us the manuscript on the destiny of the black race. Mind you, in the natural world, I had never even conceived of writing a manuscript like that, much less putting out a book. But that's what happened in the dream. They said, give us the manuscript on the destiny of the black race. I went to the trunk of my vehicle, took it out, walked it back to the squad car, and I handed it to the officer. And as I was handing it, I said to the man, I said in my mind, I handed it to him, but in my mind I said, you can take this, but you can't take what's in my heart. And from then, long story short, I started to study, I started to research on what the plight of black people were. And as soon as I started that, again, I went to bed one night and I was thrust into another dream.